Hi, this is Cynthia Ortiz. It is October 2nd, 2021 at 6:27 p.m. These are the Charles Perry Stalker podcasts. So, it's been a couple of days that's been really busy. As we've covered already before, Mr. Perry's under investigation and has been for a while for sexual exploitation of women and children all over the net, all over the world. Everyone's seen it. He's not sure at this point. He doesn't know who all has seen it and who all has reported it and who did they report it to. But when you illegally install a camera in a woman's home against her will and her knowledge, or some without their knowledge, I'm sorry, without their consent, there's no payment, there's no contract, there's nothing, there's no consent, and broadcast that watch time on the internet, on the dark web, it's everywhere. And then he's a alleged sexual sadist, so he torments, tortures, and starves women and children, and then goes and our witness says, I'm quoting, rubs one out. That's his thing. I know that he has typed in my phone over and over and over, I can see you, like he thinks that's a trophy. It's a disgust. It really is a disgust. Peeping is illegal. It is a crime because it's disgusting conduct. Our shrink believes Mr. Perry to be mentally retarded. She says he may have the IQ of 30. That came from witness statements, recordings of Mr. Perry, Mr. Powell, Mr. Burson, Mr. Robertson, and their little club, their little creepy club, this Calvin guy. And that came from recordings of these men attempting to cause me some sort of harm. And, there's like 30 of them about getting my ringtone. There's hundreds about getting my car. Always it's some way, how can we intimidate her? And our guys are like, these guys act like we don't exist. How do they think you're getting this information? The Fabian puzzle, what they just said when they're trying to hurt you. Mr. Powell has been recorded, I can't tell you how many times, asking my whereabouts and how can we get her served or false arrested. Over and over and over. He's in a lot of trouble too. He's suborned perjury in Michael Neely's trial. He called those attorneys up and said, I want to get her on harassment. I need you to not let her testify. That'll mess my thing up. My false claims, that'll mess that up. So, the latest was, again, this conversation about getting me served has been going on for a long time. I don't know of anything out there. I've not been served with anything. I've not been, my cops don't tell me everything because they know I can't always, I'll rant and maybe blow their investigation, which they're not going to let me do. So, there's 40 men. There's 40 men in this. They're not going to compromise everything they've done for 10 years. So I'm not aware of any litigation that I would need to be served, but I've heard recordings of Mr. Powell talking about it a lot. Can we not get her served? Can we not get her served? Can we not get her served? Did we not get her served? I need her address. I need her address. I need her address. Oh, for God's sake. Oh, my God. Oh, for God's sake. Oh, good. It's just whatever. So I have no idea what that's all about. But what I do know is that at this point, the harassment on me speaks to the desperation of these men and their knowledge of how much trouble they're in. They think intimidating me is going to end it. And our guys are like, they act like we don't exist. How are you, Cynthia, going to get what they just said? They have you so broke you freaking can't even eat. That's part of the starvation and torment and torture of women and children they get off on, so that they've broadcast all over the internet for years. It's been all over the world. When you start violating the rights of women and children in America, it makes it a little hard for somebody to go into another country and say, we need you to clean up your human rights violations. Because you got your own. Those weirdos in Texas, have you not seen what they've put out all over the place? Mr. Perry can't say that he wants it secret. He doesn't want it secret. He's broadcasting what he's doing to me. What he did to me and my son for years. That's child pornography, by the way, Mr. Perry. You're a sex offender. So we have a witness. This has been covered repeatedly. Our witness says, as long as I've known Mr. Perry, he trolls women. He won't let his wife travel with him, and he's always traveling. So what he'll do is he'll find divorced women with kids. He'll put hidden cameras in their home. He broadcasts watch time on the dark web. He's raking it in while he's starving them to death. Can you even imagine what kind of monster would do that? What kind of monster would put a hidden camera in a woman's home, in her house? You know, Jeff Epstein had cameras in his own house. His friends expressed disgust with it. Mr. Perry's putting them in other people's homes. He has no contract. There's no consent. Half of them don't even know it. I did, because this is my job. So, my job was to elect him, get him elected. At the time, apparently, at the time I was married, so I was not vulnerable. But as time went on, I did get a divorce. And apparently that made me vulnerable in Mr. Perry's mind. Not realizing I had a bunch of, at the time it was 30 police officers involved in this need to know. It's a need to know. There's a dead cop. There's a dead Supreme Court judge that might be linked. So everybody's being very careful. There's not going to be a phone call made that could maybe be leaked to Mr. Perry and cause a problem. In fact, I'm not even paid right now. I can't be paid right now. They dig in my checking account all the time. Illegally. Because my checking account's protected under privacy, right? So how are they getting information as to my banking, right? Well, they're breaking privacy laws, so is the bank. If they have, they also hack. So, but still, there would be more information from that they'd have to get from other than just hacking. But I'm not even paid right now. We're not risking it. We're not going to risk it. It's not. I'll get paid later. What I'm trying to say, though, is that the witness said Charles will get these women fired. Then he hacks them so they can't find another job. He'll find out where they're applying for another job, and then he'll go badmouth them. Then what he'll do is he causes them to lose their home, and then he has the ex take the kids away. He likes getting women hysterical, ripping apart families, causing ruin, loss, devastation, and the kind you never, ever get over. Because he hates women. He's got mommy issues and such a low-class piece of trash that he thinks abusing women in that way will somehow pay mommy back. And he allows his family problems to become problems for other families. Doesn't get more yuck than that. So he's typing in my phone, I can see you. What in the fuck is wrong with someone that does that? It's a crime. You don't have a date. You have 10 years chased a woman that can't stand you. Pretty much held me at gunpoint trying to force me into something I don't want to be in. So Friday morning I get up and my cop friends call me and they're like, Charles is so desperate, Charles and Dave. They just hired a bunch of witches to cast spells over you because, they're Satanists. I'm like, holy crap, you're shitting me with this, right? Well, we knew he had a voodoo doll. And again, this is how weird Mr. Perry is to do crap like that. Like, who the fuck does that? I'm a Christian. I'm covered from head to toe by the blood of Jesus. That's my choice. I understand your warlock told you. Our spells aren't going to work on her. They only work on people that haven't decided. She's decided. She's a Christian. She's not going to come over to the dark side because you wave a little magic wand over her. She's made her decision. I can do this, but you're wasting your money. You're just pissing her off. And he is. That's exactly what's happening. I go to a restaurant last night, and a woman comes up to me and tells me her name is Suzanne or Susan. I can't remember. How she knew I was going to be at this restaurant, I don't know. She comes in and introduces herself to me and tells me she's one of the witches. Wants to see if the voodoo whatever worked. I was like, wow. Talk about making me very uncomfortable. Harassment by voodoo doll. Jesus, help us all. So I always get up in the morning and say my prayers. And I had, from over the last 10 years, I have used sage to cook with because it tastes good. And someone got in my house, like our guy said, because, again, when I'm not home, I don't know what's going on at my house if I'm not home. Our guys tell me, yeah, they walk in your house and help themselves to your shit whenever the hell they want. We see them. We got it. Again, you act like my guys don't exist. How am I getting this information? How would I get information about what you just said? Ringtone. 30 conversations about the ringtone. Hundreds about taking my car. Where's the registration? Where's the title? What's the mileage? Is it have cruise control? Can you find out? Can you get her doing Uber so she has strange people in her car? Yeah, those recorded and recorded and recorded. They got it. Okay, so now I forgot what I was saying. So they got that's how desperate these people have gotten to cover up the sexual exploitation of women and children. My guys are like, I know what it was, sage. So I cook with sage. Will I come in and it's gone? I'm like, son of a bitch, they took my sage. It must mean something. So I've been burning sage like a motherfucker. It doesn't have anything to do with what I believe. It's about what they believe. I don't believe in that. I don't believe in that. I know that on the night that someone threw a brick at me on the highway, it did not hit my head. It totaled my car. I'm alive right now. I didn't think I had sage with me then. So I don't know who the hell you think you're kidding. But I'll tell you this. There will be arrest in this situation. Harassment of, violating my right to religious freedoms. Get your bitch religious thing off me. Get it off me. My soul must be a danger to Satan, or you wouldn't waste your time. You wouldn't bother with me. But several years ago, Mr. Perry spoofed Lisa Neely's Facebook and then changed the name. I can show that in a minute. But right now, he spoofed my friend. He spoofed a friend of mine years ago. And the conversation was normal at first. Then it got weird. And when it got weird, there's a statement right here. We worship Satan now. Wow. Why would you do that? Why would you worship Satan? And if you want to worship Satan, that's fine, but don't let it bother me. I don't want it bothering me. My religion is Christianity. That's my religion. I have the right to practice my religion. You don't have the right to force yours down my throat. Sending Miss Suzanne or Susan or whatever her name is. I'm one of the witches Charles and Dave hired. I came in to see if the voodoo doll was working. Jesus Christ. Help us all. That was the weirdest conversation I've ever had. She said more. I'm not going to say what she said. I'm not going to tell you everything she said. Not your business. But apparently, you guys have stooped that low to cover up your sick little crime. Your crime disturbs people. It makes everybody uncomfortable and creeped out. So, I don't know what litigation is about to be filed, but Mr. Powell was recorded talking about it, getting me served, and we got to get her address. Yep, you've breached my protected address already, and you were told, that you stay away from my address, weren't you? So I don't know why you're calling up here asking for my address so you can file something, but I'm going to ask you to cease and desist. I have a protected address because you guys come up here. I left Lubbock. I left. That should have been the end of it. I moved twice to get away from you weirdos. And this is it. This is one. That's not Lisa Neely, by the way. That's Charles and Josh Burson. Does this not say in 2014, I just want to be left alone? I moved twice to get away from these weirdos. Not my kind of people. You intend to harass me. What, now is it going to be litigation harassment? Is that what's next? What are you trying to do? It's been 10 years. There's no date. There's no possibility of a date. You can see me. You're admitting crime. Mr. Perry, do you know my guys see everything you type in my phone? They know everything you do. You're about to go to jail. If anybody needs to go to jail, it's you. You've had your fun at the expense of other people. It's time for you to stop. And if you can't do it yourself because you don't have control, the men in my life have power. Other men have power that you don't have. They got me all this stuff. They got me that in jail because my guys have power and you don't. They don't like little bitches who pick on women and children to feel like tough guys and get them fired, make them upset and rip families apart, ruin kids' lives forever. You don't understand what it can do. If you look up parent alienation syndrome, when you start causing a conflict in a little kid's life, they have a nice, peaceful, happy home. They have a nice system in place. Mom and dad are somewhat getting along, which they need, divorced or not. And all of a sudden, you got them at odds with each other. You got in fighting with each other. The things that mom was, oh, thank you, Charles. He's hacked me. See, he does that. They got them fighting with each other, and is that a godly thing to do? Aren't you? See, you get up and you're a church deacon, and you claim to be Christians, but you're causing a lot of fights with other people's families, and that's very low class, Mr. Perry. That's very low class. Nobody picked a fight with you. You're coming up here picking a fight with me. You're getting your criminal ass kicked for the first time in your life, aren't you? You don't like that. No bad guy does. No bad guy likes it when they're caught. But the more you do it, the more you're caught. And that's why our shrink thinks you're mentally retarded, because you're not seeing the cause and effect here. When you mess with me, you get told on. When you mess with me, you get told on. And when you do what you were just recorded talking about doing, then you confirm that recording was indeed you, and you did intend crime. You intended to commit a crime. And it doesn't matter. I said it to Lucky many years ago, when he was still alive. He could pay every Oklahoma cop not to prosecute him. My guys are going to do it. Doesn't matter. This was started before I came to Oklahoma. You could have jumped on board and helped or not. We don't care. Well, Lucky jumped on board. And now he's dead. He should have gotten... There was a big, long conversation that I can't even get into with somebody in Oklahoma law enforcement as to what should have happened that would have saved Lucky's life. I'm not going to right now get into it. But what I'm going to say is that Mr. Perry is caught more than ever in his life because he went at me. He doesn't understand what he's dealing with. He's not all there. He's got something wrong with him. And I didn't say that. A doctor said that. After she read all his emails, she's listened to his recordings. She's telling me the stuff he says does not even make sense. So when he says weird things to you, like I can see you, knowing you hate that, knowing that disgusts you, knowing that's a serious violation of the law, of morals, of values, and of your rights. He knows it, and he does it anyway. It's like he thinks it's a trophy. That's not how you get a date, Mr. Perry. If all guys are too embarrassed to act like you, maybe you should be embarrassed too. And I've asked the shrink that. Why is he not embarrassed? She said, I've reviewed all his emails. I've listened to all the recordings of this man. He's mentally retarded. He doesn't know he should be. He's in bad shape with his mind. Bad shape. I know that there's some murders we want to get the death penalty on that I'm not sure that we will. Because you have to have the IQ of 70, and I'm not sure that he has that if his IQ is that high. I'm not sure that it is. The only problem that he's going to have, because he's going to have to be tested, is that he continues to destroy evidence and commit perjury. He goes into court and lies and lies and lies and lies over and over and over, and it's stacking up. So it might be that because he does that, we can get around all that. I'm not going to explain how that's what she said. It would occur in testing. That you can hardly make the claim that his IQ is below 70. It's because he keeps covering up or trying to cover up what he's doing. He's getting more desperate by the day. He's attacking me more. When he and Dave and Josh and Matt and Joe attack me, they establish some guilt in ways they don't yet know. Because there was a recording about something. Mens rea. It's a legal terminology for intent. What was your mind when you did this act? Did you know it was a criminal act and you did it anyway? Was it malicious? On and on and on. Every lawyer knows about it. His attorneys don't seem to. Ours do. Our judge isn't going to be ignorant on fact. Our judge wants to know all the things going on. He does. He has to sign off on investigatory orders. He's going to make sure they stick. Okay, so when I've said I don't want any contact from Mr. Perry, I don't want him peeping, I don't want him hacking, he's gotten a bill for that because he's being entertained using my body and my home against my will illegally. He owes me money for that. He's been billed. Mr. Powell filing another false claim in court, that's probably going to get him thrown in jail for that too, because they've done that already more than once. Perjury and suborning perjury seems to be their habit. Destroying evidence. All you had to do is leave me alone. I came up here to not have a conflict. I understand you're messing with my family pretty good too. I've been told that too. your family's going to need some healing time because they have been fucked with big time. Okay. Duly noted for the record. Then don't ask me if my family's ratting you out. You went to him. I haven't talked to him. You went to him. You told him what you were going to do to me to hurt me. Family members don't usually like being asked to hurt their family. For a madman who enjoys the torment, the torture, and the starvation of women and kids, and has made a living off of that for a good long time. Okie dokie. So you want to fuck with my family? I've asked you to stop. Please get ready to deal with the consequences of it. I'm sure you can live with your choices. You enjoy conflict. We all know that. That's part of the history of this. Because when you do an investigation into a crime and you've got a witness that says he enjoys causing family conflict, do you not think that part of the substantiation of that witness, or you have maybe more than one like we do, that you're going to get some evidence of it? You're going to start getting where's the pattern? Here's the victims. Here's the pattern. Here's the victim. Here's another one. Here's another one. Here's another one. And sure as shit, he has fucked up their whole family too. That's his thing. Then he goes and rubs one out because he's got mommy issues that he has imposed on other families. And that's low class. And where I'm come from, way I'm raised, in the home of an elected official with power, man, you don't do that. Jerry Springer Show. Trailer park trash. Low class. And our shrink has looked at all your emails, Mr. Perry and Mr. Powell and Mr. Robertson, and listened to the recordings and made the determination preliminarily that she believes Mr. Perry to be mentally retarded and unable to determine fact from fiction and unable to determine cause and effect. So what's wrong with the rest of you? When you mess with me, you've been caught, and you look desperate right now, more by the day. People have things called acts showing consciousness of guilt. It's pathetic. So we have all this that Mr. Perry seems not to be able to grasp. Easy concepts that a 2-year-old could grasp. So if you look at 2-year-old little girls, what do all day? They're watching TV. They're watching, Sesame Street or Frozen or something, and they got their little dolls and their little unicorns out. They're pretending to be part in that movie. My boys used to be Buzz Lightyear and Woody or Steve on from Blue's Clues. Had the clothes and everything, put them all on, pretended they were a part of that. They had their little magenta and blue and a little handy-dandy notebook and all that stuff. Mr. Perry's doing the same thing, except he's watching women, pretending he's their spouse. And he's got his little dolly, and he's got his little unicorn, and he's got the skill set of a 2-year-old little girl. And that's why he's not wanted. He doesn't have a date. He has crime that's about to hit him pretty fucking hard all over the place. Right there. He's been told this over and over and over. Don't contact me, Charles. Don't contact me. I don't like it. I don't care what you think. I really don't. I don't care what you think. I didn't ask you. I asked you to get the hell out of my life, didn't I? And the more you contact me and ignore my rights and wishes and shove your religion down my throat against my will, invade my privacy, cause drama and problems, the easier it is to get what you just said. And now you got this building up right here. Interfering with commerce, interfering with interstate commerce, interfering with contracts. Every time you guys get on the phone, you're recorded, bitch. David. First time this has happened to you, isn't it? All of that. I can't wait. You have no idea. Because once you're gone, once you're in jail, you can't do this shit to me anymore. And the more you do it to me, the more that you rack up. You're just racking it up like it is something. Never seen it before. Never seen anything like this before in my life. I have not seen it before in my life ever. It is insane what you guys do. Hundreds about my car recordings. Hundreds of them. And look at this. The Fabian puzzle. My guys are like, we got you that puzzle. They didn't tell me they were going to allow it. I knew that there was threats. Charles was making the threats. But my guys didn't tell me we're going to let them go ahead and do it, because now that's obstruction of justice, perjury, false reporting to police, destruction of evidence, attempted murder, coercion, intimidation. And they thought for sure Tulsa police would pursue charges. They were pretty upset they didn't. I'm just going to say. They were very upset that they didn't. But our guys are like, they act like they're going at Cindy, acting like we don't exist. Cindy doesn't have the ability to get these recordings. She doesn't have it. She's starving to death. That's pissing us off. We don't like little bitch-ass girls that pick on women and kids to feel tough. That doesn't sit well with us. At first it was 30 guys. Now it's 40. That's what you have after you. So why are you going at me? What's that? What's coming from that? What is the result of your actions of going at me? You look worse. You look guiltier than shit. First of all. And cause and effect makes you look like you got mental retardation if you can't tell. If you can't figure that out by yourself. You should be able to. One would think that you could be able to. Charles, don't contact me. Don't contact me. That's not a romance. Peeping is not a romance. It's crime. You need to get a grip on reality and keep up with everybody else. Come on. You're frustrating the hell out of everybody. And then they need to repeat. It makes everybody feel like we're stuck in the Alzheimer's ward. Get some fucking help. Dear Lord Jesus, get some help. So you guys that want to help him run for governor, by the way, we don't give a shit about that at all. It's another opportunity to go right up to him. He's already talked to 2 of these cops face to face. He thought they were voters or someone looking to give money to his campaign. Matt Powell's talked to him. Joe Chadwick's talked to him. David Robertson's talked to him. And Josh Burson has talked to him. And they had no idea that's who they were talking to. You've been told this. You've already been told this. So they get all these recordings of you guys, and you know they're in the Fabian puzzle, and they're going, why is it they can't seem to get? We exist. We're the ones you need to worry about. Her job was done when she got him elected. What in the hell's the matter with you? They gave me the puzzle to cheer me up in jail because I didn't know what the hell was going on at first. Believe me, it knocked me off my feet. I didn't know what the fuck to think. So they gave me that puzzle, and it did cheer me up, by the way. Fabian intersecting with the word hope. Fabian's the man I want. It'll never be Charles. If Fabian didn't exist, it's never going to be Charles. 10 years he's rejected. 10 years he just gets told on. And we get more and more and more of these. So the latest is Mr. Powell demanding my address. Mr. Powell, I have a protected address. You're not allowed to use it. You're not allowed to send me mail at all. And I've said that. You want to surf something, you email it. I've said that too. I've told you, you breached my protected address. You broke the law. You'll probably get charged with that too. So whatever it is you want to file, you better fucking make sure it's factually accurate. Because if there's one little thing off, you're going to have to deal with it. With my guys, the ones you think don't exist. Thank you for rewarding my faith in God by having a witch put a fucking curse over me. I don't think it worked. I don't know. I don't know what the curse was all about. All she said is they wanted me to come see if the voodoo doll's working. Wow. And some other things I'm not going to repeat to you. Suzanne, something like that. Is that one of your witches that you hired Friday morning? My decision has been made. I'm following Christ. I always have. People in Sapulpa used to say, we'll go out there to that club and get a lap dance from her. Doesn't matter what that girl's wearing. You can feel God all over her. Okay, great. So my faith in God bothers you, but I have the freedom of religion, and you don't have the right to shove yours down my throat. You get it off me. Get the witch off me. I don't like that. No one does. It made me wildly uncomfortable. Everything Mr. Perry does makes everybody wildly uncomfortable because it's weirdo. If it worked, all guys would do it. And you don't have a date. You've got 10 years of being rejected. And you got all this recording after recording after recording. Probably 30 about my ringtone. Hundreds about my car. And off and on over the years, Mr. Powell, over and over and over, he's calling cops up here, demanding my address. Now, I do know he's been told more than once, she has a protected address. I can't give you that, and you know that. So if they did give it to him, they should not have. To the best of my knowledge, it has not been given to him. Second of all, because by law they can't. Especially, you can't ask police to do anything at all regarding a civil matter, can you? So whatever civil thing you want to file, Mr. Powell, please make sure it is extremely factually accurate. Because if it's not, be ready to pay for that. You got to answer to the 40 guys that you think don't exist. It won't do any good to pick on me. You're going to piss them off. And then they're going to do this because I don't do this part. This is what they do. The recordings of you saying stuff, that's their job. I don't have anything to do with that at all. They're getting that information. If it's pertinent to me or something, there's been quite a few recordings that I heard, but I didn't do anything about because we didn't need to. It was like benign or something just stupid. So we didn't really, I didn't sit down and type it up. I heard it, but I didn't type it up. I didn't need to. What I type up is something that's pertinent to my safety and my health and my well-being that you're endangering. You guys are some sick, twisted motherfuckers. Don't act like you're victims. You're making people vomit over your, I heard the recording. I'm sick and tired of Matt and Charles calling up here with their little sob story. All they had to do was leave her alone. That's all they had to do. They're not victims. They think they are, but they're, Charles we know is mentally retarded. Maybe Matt is too. Charles can prove he can be normal, and he's not mentally retarded by acting like a normal human being and leaving me the hell alone. And stop imposing. Stop being a burden. Stop making unwanted contact. Stay out of my business. Stay out of my family. Go be normal. So we think these guys that want him to be governor are looking for a Manchurian candidate. Because Charles is going to go in a back room, watch TV, and play with his doll and his unicorn. Like a 2-year-old little girl. That's all a 2-year-old little girl does. He's no different. He can prove different if he'd like at any time. At any time. In our court, Mr. Perry, you'll need an alibi and you're not going to have one. I don't care what any other court says. Because you buy judges and we know it. Only court you need to worry about is the one that we can get this. That's the court you should be worried about. That's the court that's been involved in this since before I moved to Oklahoma. Do you understand? What you're doing is very offensive to a whole lot of people that don't like pussies that pick on women and children to feel tough, to work out their mommy issues that they should have kept between them and their mommy. You made your problems other people's problems in a criminal way. You're making people want to vomit. And I'm calling our shrink. Why is he not embarrassed enough to stop? I think, Cindy, that he's mentally retarded and doesn't know he should be. Now, you can prove her wrong or prove her right. I don't care. That's your choice. Whatever you got going in any other courtroom, make sure that it's not going to work against you in ours, because ours is criminal. It doesn't matter how much you paid other cops. You don't know who our cops are, but you know they can get this. You've seen what they can do. So I don't know what it is you think you're going to file. File it. Serve me via email. And we'll go from there. I've told you that before. Keep in mind I have a hacker, so if I don't respond, that's not my problem. Get the hacker off me. Don't invade my privacy. Don't cause problems. And make sure whatever you do, that you can deal with it in a criminal case. All right? There's that.